Welcome to another edition of Feminist Fumbles. As always, I am Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian, giving you the news that don't quite make it on my Smash series, but still worth talking about, while trying to keep it short, simple, and sarcastic. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so Obama hears youth leaders' concerns about LGBT rights. I guess he was speaking to British youths this past weekend. I don't know why. He's the American president, so why is he speaking to British leaders? But, you know, I've given up on understanding politics for a while now. So anyways, he was discussing this and that and getting some questions. But anyways, this girl, I can't say girl, and you'll understand why in just a moment. Maria Munir said, appearing before the president and 500 British young leaders, non-binary people don't recognize any gender. I come from Pakistani Muslim background, which inevitably has cultural implications. Non-gendered continued, then asking the president about North Carolina law that limits protections for transgendered, lesbians, gay, and bisexual people, and wanted to know what Obama would do to protect those with no gender. We literally have no rights. I really wish yourself and Prime Minister David Cameron would take us seriously as transgendered people. Well, you're not a transgendered person. You're a non-binary person. See, the difference between non-binary, which is an imaginary term, and a transgendered person is a transgendered person is transitioning from one gender to the other. A non-binary or non-gendered person would be someone who is literally neither gender. That what's between your legs is like a Ken doll or a Barbie doll. You have no vagina, you have no cock. Now, I don't even think that's actually possible. Maybe it is. Maybe a neutered person is possible to exist. Like they're born that way. That they have neither one, but I don't know how they would live, in all honesty. Now, President Obama has come out against the decisions made in North Carolina and Mississippi, stating that they're wrong and they should be overturned. And while I agree with him, there's nothing the president can do. State rights are state rights. State laws are state laws. The only thing anyone could do is try to raise this up into a court system, then goes into a superior court, and maybe eventually into the Supreme Court in order to get this overturned, which people might have to do. I definitely do disagree with this here. Now, I don't think that the bathroom issue is really that big of a deal, but when you make specific law against it, you're asking for trouble, in all honesty. It's like you're saying, okay, LGBT, I'm going to piss you off and you can't do anything about it. Nah, 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 nah. Oh, you're sorely mistaken. You're just asking for trouble. I just find it funny that someone who identifies as a non-binary steps up and says, what are you going to do about us transgendered person? And it's like, if I was there, I'm like, how are you a transgender person and also a non-binary person? That are not mutually exclusive. You can't be a transgender person into a non-binary. This is just retarded how some people are. Okay, let's move on to X-Men star Famke Janssen. I know I should know how to say that, but I don't. Blames movie sexism for why she hasn't returned as older Jean Grey. So they have Sophie Turner, who is going to play a young version of the character in X-Men Apocalypse in the X-Men series. Now, as she has stated, in the X-Men series, they've been bringing back older characters for years. Although women, it's interesting because they've replaced the older versions, or more mature, whatever the politically correct version of that is, and are never to be seen again. Whereas the men are allowed to be both ages. Sexism. Now, I don't think it's necessarily sexism as to why, because honestly, I mean, as great as Jean Grey was, I don't think the movie ever really showed how great Jean Grey was, and because of that reason, that's why she's not come back. Now, yes, they have brought back other actors, such as Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, and the guy who plays Wolverine, who I'm like cursing myself for forgetting. You know, my first thought was, well, you know, Jean Grey died in the third X-Men film. She's like literally dead, but then you could say the same thing for Professor Xavier. He also died, his molecules ripped to shreds, but his consciousness still remained. Unless you've seen like the deleted scenes, you don't really know how Professor Xavier did that precisely. I just think that the character was not popular enough to bring back. Oh, and it's just the women. Do these people not understand that if you keep saying that, you know, Hollywood is sexist, they're going to be less likely to hire you? But of course, she's pretty much at the point of, well, they're already not going to hire me. I can say whatever I want, you stupid moron. Yeah, this will convince them. Oh, they're sexist. They should hire me right now. I can understand bringing back, you know, Professor Xavier. He was a very popular character. Patrick Stewart is a big star. Really, they only brought him back for like one more movie, which was Days of Future Past, which was a disappointment in my opinion. There was some good elements to it, but it was still a disappointment when you consider the original comic. Hell, even the cartoon series in the 90s did a much better job with Days of Future Past than that travesty. Not saying that the movie is bad, I'm just disappointed with what they did with it. She's not that popular of an actress. They didn't properly use her character, but I would also say they did not properly use Cyclops. And I liked Cyclops as a character. I always have. Yeah, he's a bit of a douche, but he kind of has to be. He's the leader. He doesn't care if people like him. He cares if they respect him enough to follow his orders. And that's admirable. Let's go ahead and go to our last article here today. 29 girls sent home due to supposed dress code violations. I love when dress code comes up in conversation. Here's yet another example of sexist school uniform crackdowns. This week, a school in England sent home 29 female students when they didn't meet a uniform test. Oh my God! That's just awful of them that they sprung up a new standard of uniforms and didn't bother telling them this and then sent them home for failing to meet it. Oh wait, no, they knew about it and purposely broke the rules for whatever reason and then were told to go home because they were breaking the established rules. Students at Lord Grey School were told to go home and change because of too tight pants and overly short skirts. Dr. Tracy Jones, the school principal, claims it was an effort to protect their female students who should look demure and modest and not appear over-sexualized in figure-hugging trousers or very short skirts. I agree with that. It's school. It's a place to learn, not to show off your motherfucking vagina. This isn't a place to get laid. This is a place to learn. And yet, every year, girls get it in their mind that this is a place to show off their body. Now, I'm not against girls doing this. You want to go ahead and show your cooch off to the world? Go ahead. But not at school. I'm sure there are plenty of places around school that you can do that. If that's what you want to do, have at it. Don't be surprised if people treat you like a whore. The last thing we want is boys peering up girls' skirts while they're climbing the stairs. That seems like a very reasonable reason. Girls climb upstairs and boys look up to see up their skirts, see which ones are wearing panties. And I'm betting a few girls are wanting this so they don't wear panties when they go up the stairs. Of course, Chloe Hurst, a 16-year-old that was sent home, says, "The boys never get hassled. Teachers are so sexist about it. I feel like it's disgusting how they ask women to dress modestly." Boys tend to have a more stricter dress code than girls do. While girls tend to be able to wear a skirt and pants, boys can only wear pants. They are quite limited in what they're allowed to wear. In fact, girls are given a lot more freedom in this case, whether it's in school or in the professional environment. So don't give me this, oh, they never hassle the boys. And most boys don't want to wear skin-tight clothing. Girls do, yes, because they want to show off their body. Boys don't really want to show off their body. Now, yes, I hear, oh, well, boys want to show off their underwear to the world and have their pants sag. Most of the time, they're told to pull up their pants. They're probably not told to go home because boys, all they need to do is pull up their pants, problem solved. Now, Dr. Jones went on to say, "We have a strict uniform policy for quite a few years now." It's quite a few years, she wrote, stressing that it's less about the dangers of stairs and too short skirts, instead, primarily teaching young people about following rules. Things take a body-shaming detour. Dr. Jones says that too tight clothing on girls who are not very slim can be unflattering, and it emphasizes their heftiness, according to a copy of the letter obtained by the Metro UK. So, girls wearing tight clothing on bigger body frames, it's not very appealing to look at. Maybe she shouldn't be talking about this, but it's not that she's incorrect. But I do like that she says that this is about teaching young people about following rules. Maybe there's the dangers of boys peering up when girls walk upstairs. And I'm sure feminists would say, well, teach boys not to do that. They're going to do it. You can't teach someone not to do that. Okay? Or that their pants are too tight around their bodies. Well, teach boys not to look at me. They're not going to do that. You can't not teach that. This is a place of learning. This is a place of following rules, especially going to a private school like this, okay? Laura Bates, who's on my channel again, girls' bodies and dresses are often policed much more severely than boys. And especially when you start throwing around words like modest and demure. There's a real sense of girls being judged and valued on their dress and a moral judgment being applied in a way that certainly isn't happening to their male peers. Because men still have a more strict thing. They still have to wear, they can only wear pants. It's not like they can wear shorts to school. It's not like they have any other options. It's not like they can just wear a sleeveless shirt in addition to their sleeved shirt. They have to wear a sleeved shirt, a tie, and pants. Girls get the option of wearing a skirt instead of pants. In fact, let's take a look at Lord Grey School's policies. The governors and staff at Lord Grey School believe that wearing of a distinctive school dress makes an important contribution to the tone and reputation of the school, gives students a sense of belonging, and stops students coming to school in clothes which are unsuitable for school. Sixth form students do not wear uniforms, but are expected to wear appropriate clothes for school, which is based on the concept of smarter office wear. The condition of students' entry to classes is the wearing of full school uniform. We are a uniform school, and thus uniform is non-negotiable. So it sounds like the top tier students are able not to wear school uniforms all the time, but they still have to dress appropriately. It sounds like to me, even though they're supposed to be checking them before they enter into class, they're not doing that often, and these girls are trying to get away with trying to wear a skirt that's above the knees instead of at the knees. When they've done this long enough, they had to do an inspection check, and found that many girls were not wearing the proper uniform. So some of the things that they're expected to wear. Black tailor skirts, trousers. Skirts must be at least knee length. Trousers must be slightly loose and loose at the ankle. They have to wear sensible shoes with black laces. Footwear must be completely black all over. Skin tone or black tights, not footless, when wearing a skirt. Makes me wonder if girls are allowed to wear heels at all, or if they have to wear just a black tennis shoe. So yeah, it's in their rules, and these girls are knowingly breaking the rules, and it's like, well, it's not fair that you do it for us, not the boys. The boys seem to be following the rules. Gee, I wonder why you're not going after the boys if the boys are following the rules. Do you want the boys to get in trouble because you don't follow the rules? Is that fair to you? And maybe some boys are getting away with some stuff. Maybe they're letting their pants hang down. But again, that's an easy fix. Bloop! You pull them right up. You know, it's not like you can take a skirt that's like halfway up your thigh and just like pull it down so it's at your knee length, because guess what? We can see your panties. Oh, guess what? You're not wearing panties? Then we see your motherfucking hooch. Okay? It's as simple as that. This is a school environment. Do you know what you do at a school environment? Let's take a quiz. A, show off your vagina for the world to see. B, try to get laid as much as you possibly can. C, learn from the subjects at school. Or D, become a fucking whore. I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time's up. Raise your pencils. What did you choose? It should be C. It's a motherfucking place to learn. It's not that difficult. School is a place to learn, not a place to whore yourself out. You want to whore yourself out, you do that off of school times. I hope you don't, but if that's what you really want, if that's your main aspect in life, go for it. Become a prostitute, get on a street corner, become a stripper, do porn. But when you're in school, you are there to learn. And if they tell you to wear a uniform, you wear a uniform. Simple as that. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I thank you for coming out to my channel today. Check out my description link down below. There you can find my Twitter account if you're on Twitter. Also, check out my Patreon. You know, I am trying to raise money for medical costs. While I would like to make better videos, I feel like I'm doing that now. Instead, I just want to go ahead and raise money for medical costs, such as getting a procedure that may actually improve my condition. However, this is something that probably would cost me around $10,000 to get, and I'd have to pay out of pocket. Insurance doesn't cover it. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing Patreon, that's perfectly understandable. Go ahead and check out my new series called Dagar Legacy. It deals with vampires, it deals with the bubonic plague, it deals with knights, you know, and they're not really in shining armor. They're actually wearing leather armor, but you get the point. It's a really great story. I've heard great things about it. First one is free. So download it, read it. If you like it, consider leaving a review, an honest review. And if you really like it, consider buying the first book that comes directly after that for only $2.99. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. Be sure to subscribe down below. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this. Please share this amongst all your social media with all your friends so they can come to my video and like it themselves. And this is Mad Cat signing off.